between them. They come out to play. Many of the players have changed, but the feeling it always, well, it sort of filters down from players that have been here before in these great contests. As you can see, the Pittsburgh Steelers have won the toss. They've elected to receive, of course, set to kick off. Chris Barr, another great story. Chris Barr kicks, of course, for the Oakland Raiders. His brother, Matt Barr, kicks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're looking at Frank Pollard, a rookie from Baylor, 11th round draft pick. He's dropped deep for the Steelers. And a kickoff time is 46 degrees, expected to go down into the low 30s today in Pittsburgh. But a beautiful night for football. Sellout crowd, and we're underway. Chris Barr bangs it. Pollard steps up to the 2. Looking for his wedge. And a big opening for Pollard as he bangs out over the 30-yard line, getting up to the 33-yard line. And let's meet that offensive unit. Of course, Terry Bradshaw, perhaps the best quarterback to come along in many, many years in professional football. Franco Harris, we are told, will not start. He possibly could play. There basically are 2 rookie running backs. Greg Hawthorne, number 27. Russell Davis, number 45. We told you about the wide receivers. There's an offensive line yet that has never come together for the Steelers this year, beleaguered as they have been with many injuries. But the Steelers, 1st and 10. The ball at their own 33-yard line of Bradshaw. Immediately to the air. Firing, and it goes to Theo Bell, and Theo Bell has a first down out over the 45 to the 47. Theo Bell in there in place of Lynn Swann. It was Burgess Owens defensively for the Oakland Raiders.
2 things I think this does. It kind of verifies what Terry said. It's not going to affect my passing game that much. He has great confidence in his wide receivers. Theo Bell just went down around a very simple sort of turn-in route. Terry, a little quick fake-off tackle. First down of the game, picked him up a first yard. First down, that's what it was, first down.
Theo Bell in there for Swann. That was only his 13th reception in 4 years as a pro with the Steelers. Again, first down. Quickly, it goes out to Greg Hawthorne. Hawthorne with a big opening. Breaking tackles down to the 37-yard line. The Steelers suddenly striking on 2 first down completions by Terry Bradshaw.
Typical of Terry Bradshaw as you have an end zone look. Starting throwing the ball. Don't waste time. Establish what you can do immediately, and he can do it better than anyone.
We were watching a game yesterday over at his house, and they were throwing that little swing pattern. It was Philadelphia and Dallas throwing it out the outside. He says, that's the pass that we've got to use more because it's so safe. He says, and I've got guys that can break those tackles on the outside. That time they did exactly that.
Raiders in their 3-4 defense. Bradshaw keeps it on the ground. This is Greg Hawthorne. And defensively, Ted Hendricks sliding across number 83. He's having a great year for the Raiders thus far. Matt Millen, the rookie from Penn State, was also there. There is the 3-man front. We will not try and give it to you every time because they change according to situation. They'll bring in Willie Jones. They'll bring in Cedric Hardman, the 11-year veteran, as we look at the secondary. Of course, the Oakland Raiders have also been hurt by injuries. They've lost Monty Johnson, their fine inside linebacker for the season. They've lost Bob Nelson at linebacker. There was a loss of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 14. Bradshaw again to the air. Lots of time looking deep, and he overthrows Smith, who was open. Smith was open in front of Mike Davis, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down, 14.
And you saw Terry Bradshaw a little bit annoyed with himself because he knew he overthrew him and he knew he had him there. And he doesn't do that often.
I think his intended receiver was covered. You saw he had plenty of time to throw. That was one of the things about the 3-man rush. They didn't get good pressure on him. He moved around a little bit. Smith was open, but it was an adjustment to the original route call. But Terry was disappointed, I think.
3rd down, 14. Another wide receiver comes in. That's Calvin Sweeney, a rookie from USC, a first-year man. Came up with the Steelers a year ago, injured reserve for the year. So it'll be Sweeney, Jim Smith, and Theo Bell. Our referee tonight is Pat Haggerty, and the Oakland Raiders did not like their defensive set, so referee Pat Haggerty indicates timeout called by the Oakland Raiders. Tom Flores in his 2nd year with the Oakland Raiders looking on as defensive captain Ted Hendricks moves to the sidelines, and we'll be back.
I make one trick.
Chuck Noll, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, came in 69. This, of course, his 12th year. Looking for a 5th Super Bowl, 3 consecutive Super Bowls if they can win one this year. Of course, they beat L.A. a year ago, Dallas the year before that, and they won Super Bowls 9 and 10. They call this the season. They want one for the thumb, meaning they would like to get another Super Bowl ring to fit the thumb.
It's part of a sickness that he's never been named Coach of the Year.
That's strange.
Who votes for those things?
Third down, 14. Oakland gets their defensive alignment straightened out. Bradshaw back. Bradshaw firing for Theo Bell, and he steps in there behind Monty Jackson and comes up with the football.
What an
First down inside the 20. Jackson stepped in for the interception. The ball was behind him, and Theo Bell makes a great catch at the 20.
Oh, that was Monty Jackson, who is certainly no slouch in the secondary. It was just terrifically alert play by Theo Bell. Terry got a little pressure back there, you'll see. Jackson staying right on him. Theo goes for that ball. He says, I'm climbing after it. I know where it is. Heck of a reception. My golly, third down and a big one.
When you said Jackson was no slouch in the secondary, you're exactly right. We'll develop the story of the Oakland secondary in a moment.
First down, 10. The ball just inside the 20-yard line. Bradshaw again on first down to the air. Looking for Smith in the end zone. Touchdown. Jim Smith takes his 7th touchdown catch of the year. Smith has stepped in for Stallworth in the second week. He has been spectacular, and the Steelers have moved for a touchdown in their very first possession.
They look awfully sharp so far. That passing game, they haven't run much. He indicated that in that opening little interview. He says, it's not going to affect my passing game much, so he's going to go at it. These guys are terrific.
He was really frightened by the opposition, isn't he?
Well, I think he knows what he can do. I've never, I've known Terry for a good long while, but this is his 11th season, and he does have tremendous confidence with what he can do on the field, and he knows his personnel well. He's got great confidence in all of his receivers. His Matt Barr kicks extra point, and it's 7-zip. Jim Smith came in. You got Stallworth and Swan, the receiver. How in the world are you going to say, I want to go play for these guys? But here's a guy from Michigan, as we talked about.
Working against Don, the man that the Oakland Raiders feels is their best defensive man, one-on-one, Lester Hayes.
Frank, did you see Smith leap in the manner of Lynn Swan? Almost exactly like him. That's the way they are. We'll be back in a moment.
Three River Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and the Steelers have struck suddenly their very first possession. Terry Bradshaw in a brilliant display of passing to his depleted receiving corps. You would never know it. Matt Barr puts it in the air. Hiram Matthews settles in, but is taken by Arthur Whittington at the 8-yard line. Whittington finds an opening down the sidelines, and this game is exploding early as a flag goes down, and Whittington goes down out at the 37-yard line. Arthur Whittington brings it out to the 37, clipping indicated against the Oakland Raiders.
As the penalty is measured off, Giff, you said this game is exploding early. Al Davis, the managing partner of the Oakland Raiders, who is one of the smartest men in football without question, regardless of legal suits and all the rest of the extraneous matters, has said if I have 3 more players, I'll be back to being an outstanding team. What does he mean by that? He means an explosive player on offense to back up Kenny King should he be injured. Let's listen.
Foul. 15, number 53 on the run back.
The call. He means an explosive player on defense, particularly in the linebacker department. Frank has already told you about the absence of Marty Johnson. And he means 1 more all-purpose player who can rise to the occasion. But they're close.
A clipping penalty has moved the Oakland Raiders back close to the 15-yard line. This is a handoff to Kenny King. He's bobbled the ball. And it's picked up there quickly and bobbled by Donnie Shell, who made the recovery. And let's see who has it. Donnie Shell has the ball. He says, we've got it. Looking over to the bench, Donnie Shell, who is always around that football, whether it be in pass coverage or in recovering fumbles. He's recovered many of them over his 7-year career.
That's the point, Frank. He's always around the football. He is not the best one-on-one pass cover in the game, but he is the hardest tackler of any strong safety in the game. And you just saw him do his thing around the football.
Yeah, Cliff Branch saved a touchdown right there. Cliff, if you're going to make a mistake, don't make it around Donnie Shell. I saw Plunkett. Basically, he fumbled the handoff, the snap from center a little bit before he made that handoff to King, so maybe that caused the fumble too.
Rocky Blyer slides in as a setback for Bradshaw, who's had a tendency to throw on first down. This time he hands off inside to Blyer, and Blyer just explodes down to the 7-yard line. Hit there by Mike Davis, and the Steelers are ripping the Raiders early in the game.
Rocky Blyer, the great Vietnam War veteran, the star of a movie coming out, Fighting Back, played by Bob Urich.
Good block right there in the middle of the young middle linebacker, Milken. They've been saying he is doing a good job for him, Matt Millen. But, man, they got him that time. Good quick trap on the inside.
That was Ray Penny, the left guard of the Steelers. Stepped around the center, Mike Webster. Good trap block. Inside handoff now to Russell Davis, the first-year man out of Michigan, who's in there for Franco Harris tonight. Davis, a fourth-round draft pick a year ago, and missed the entire season with a broken arm. And he got the call to start tonight.
Interesting, you mentioned Ray Penny, the great All-American center from Washington. The angular one, with the body that is so strong and yet looks at the same time so fragile, so versatile. Can play center, guard, tackle. One of the key people, though unsung, on the Steelers team.
We saw Tom Flores looking on. He would hate to get down 14-0 to the Steelers. It would be tough to come at Bradshaw with all day. Finds Theo Bell in the end zone. And now they're saying no, he did not hold on to it. He had it in his grasp and could not hold on.
He did have some time to throw, didn't he?
And he did hit his receiver.
Yeah, he said, look, now, wait a minute, guys. Let me just look here for a minute now. All right, you're not open right now, but keep running. Somebody keep moving. He spots Theo. Theo made a move. He saw the defensive man move. Should have had the ball, of course. It was up a little bit high, but he's got it.
Great play by Jackson. He just put a hand in there and knocked it away from him.
As he had a touchdown, if Jackson had not been there, you're right.
Third down and goal as Chuck Noll looks on. He said last week his team is complacent. He said everyone has told us we have a great second string. Now we have to play them. Let's see how great you are. And, of course, they were knocked off by Cincinnati. They've been knocked off earlier in the year by Cincinnati. And people are asking questions about the Steelers. Third down goal for Bradshaw. Again, a lot of time. Randy Grossman. Short of the goal line. Hit there by Burgess Owens. It'll be fourth down. Inches.
A decision coming up for Chuck Noll. If I know Chuck, this Terry, he wants to go for it. But Chuck will probably want to put the points on the board. I know Chuck Noll. And he's right. No matter, you don't coach the way the fans want you to. You coach the way the game dictates, and Noel knows how to do it.
Ordinarily, I'm going to go with you, but when you say that Ray Penny is fragile at 6'4" and 250, I've got to consider that again. He's fragile looking?
Yes, he's been in the baseball booth with me.
Okay.
Right here at Three Rivers Stadium.
Matt Barr, 18-yard attempt. Chip shot, puts it through the uprights, and the Steelers have a 10-0 lead with 9:27 remaining in the first quarter. The Pittsburgh Steelers, plagued by injuries throughout the early going of this young season, have exploded to a 10-0 lead over the Raiders. We'll be back in a moment. Bradshaw with control of the Steelers has pulled them to a 10-0 lead. The Steelers now set to kick off. It'll be Matt Barr, of course. Deep is Ira Matthews and Arthur Whittington. Matthews number 43. That's Whittington number 22. The Steelers would like to keep it away from Matthews if they can, and they successfully do. This is Whittington who bobbles the ball at the 5. Got some speed. And the Steelers swarm Whittington under at the 15-yard line. Dennis Winston down there early for the Steelers. Let's meet the offensive unit. At quarterback, of course, Jim Plunkett, number 16. A great story in this game. Given up really after the 77 season with the 49ers released. The Raiders brought him back. And he, of course, started last week in a big win over the San Diego Chargers. Raymond Chester, of course, is the tight end. As we look at Dan Pastorini, who damaged his knee and broke a tibia bone in his leg against Kansas City a couple of weeks ago. Of course, Pastorini came to Oakland in a straight-up swap for the Raiders' longtime quarterback Ken Stabler. Plunkett from his own 15-yard line. Inside handoff. Mark Van Eegen swarmed under defensively by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who also will alternate considerably defensively, primarily at their right tackle spot where Gary Dunn and Steve Furness alternate. Let's take a look at the front four of the Steelers. There they are. It'll be 67 often coming in there for Steve Furness. There are your linebackers. Probably none better in the business than number 59, Jack Ham. And that secondary, well, they have one of the fine cornerbacks in Mel Blount, number 47. Van Eegen picks up a yard. It'll be second down and 9. The ball at the 16-yard line. Plunkett puts Chandler out to the right and will go to the air. Plunkett has the time, and he goes to Chandler. Good defensive play by Johnson, and a flag is down, and we are probably going to have pass interference. 2 officials on that target.
Let me tell you something about Chandler, ladies and gentlemen. They got him from Buffalo. He's a long-time veteran. And he is the kind of player.
Defensive pass interference, number 29. First down.
There's the call. We'll look at it again. And he's the kind of player that Fred Biletnikoff was. Had he been with the Raiders all along, he might have had a reputation somewhat akin to Biletnikoff's. He doesn't have the great speed, Don. You know that. You know him as well as anybody alive. But this guy knows how to get loose.
That defensive play you saw by Johnson was one he made contact a little before he got to the ball, so it was a good defensive call.
Ball at the 46-yard line of the Steelers is Plunkett back on first down. Flag is down as Van Egan collects the ball and moves for a gain of 9 down to the 37-yard line, but again, a flag is down. And if you saw number 53, Dennis Winston, he is in there now at middle linebacker for Jack Lambert. Jack Lambert, number 58, has come out. He is being treated on the sidelines. And the Steelers already hurt in so many positions could ill afford to lose Jack Lambert. And you can see he is having a knee wrapped. And we're going to get the call. It'll be holding.
On the number 59 on the defense. Holding. Number 59.
It is called holding against Jack Ham.
Lambert will play if he can stand. And if you count the Raiders out of this game, you're crazy. This team is well put together. Maybe counted out much too soon because of that man, Jim Plunkett, who's back.
Last week, Plunkett 11 of 14, 164 yards in a big win over San Diego, 38-24. If Oakland could win tonight, they would stay within one game of the Chargers, who got up so quickly this season. The penalty was declined. The Raiders wanted the yardage, so it'll be second down and a long two as Van Egan gets the first down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line, collected there by Robin Cole, 56, and Dennis Winston, who stays in the game as they continue to work on Jack Lambert on the sidelines.
Don, interesting the way they use their backs. Kenny King, the big breakaway man, but Winnington with an odd capacity to make the big play from your school.
Right. You know, he brought some speed. They need some speed in that backfield. When Arthur came in a couple of years ago, he did have that breakaway speed that Oakland hasn't been privy to for the last few years.
Chandler, 85, top of your screen, the motion man, as we see him come out of the backfield. Kenny King, and on first down, Plunkett to the air. Plunkett trying to go to Cliff Branch, and one of the best in the business at man-on-man coverage was covering Branch, man for man. That, of course, Mel Blunt.
Frank, I said I was going to talk about the Oakland defensive secondary. 10 former Oakland defensive backs are elsewhere in the league. 5 of them very important, 3 of them Pro Bowlers. And why did so many have to be let go? The longevity of people like Willie Brown, George Atkinson, Jack Tatum.
They were there for so many years. Of course, it's a different story now for the Raiders. Second down 10. Plunkett looks over the Steelers defense. There's Joe Green offsides. You saw the flag, and Kenny King tries to make use of the free first down. King ambled for about 8 yards, and I believe we're going to have an offsides call against Joe Green of the Steelers.
I think they got Dirk Winston a little riled up out there already. But Kenny King did make a good effort. It was you see that happen a lot. You know, a flag or a penalty has gone against the other team, and the team know there's a penalty down there, so they let up a little bit. He rambled in there, almost picked up the first down.
Would you take the penalty?
Let's see how far he got. I think I would not take the penalty. I believe he's about a yard
8
or so
yards.
away. Yeah. I think I'd take that play. In talking to the Steelers, you know, they're not used to losing at all. Let's see what this official calls.
Offside, defense declined.
The defense, though, they've really been proud of. They said they've really, you know, Lambert, for example, is averaging like 10 unassisted tackles a game. So they think they've been playing well. Their plan going in against Plunkett was to maybe blitz a little bit more, throw a little bit more pressure against Plunkett. Although he's been around for a while, he really has not had that much game experience in the last few years. So I think you'll see a strong blitz against Jim.
Penalty decline. Oakland takes the 7 yards. It's third down and 3. Ball at the 27-yard line. King gets the call. Big opening on the outside. Look out.
There's that speed they want. There's that speed they want. We got a ball game.
King in for a 27-yard touchdown. Turn the corner. You saw the size of the man. He's up there around 2.5, 2.7, and yet he can really crank it when he wants to.
What a trade by Al Davis in getting Kenny King. You got to give him credit as you look at it again. I told you if you thought Oakland was out of it, you're crazy.
You know too much. I'll tell you what they did that time. They caught Ham on the inside. Donnie Shell didn't really I don't think he realized how fast Kenny King was. He got him to the inside and bounced out. A lot of that was done on just sheer ability. Good speed to the outside by Kenny King.
Last year, Kenny King with Houston carried the ball 3 times. Playing behind Earl Campbell, of course. This is Chris Barr. And Chris Barr puts the Oakland Raiders back in the game. They're down by 3. We have 7:22 remaining in the first quarter. And there is Kenny King. 138 yards last week, and he's off to another start tonight. We'll be back in a moment. The Oakland drive, aided and abetted by a 39-yard defensive penalty against number 29, Ron Johnson, working against Bob Chandler. Set to kick off. This is Chris Barr, the brother of Matt Barr. He hangs it high. It'll be Pollard who takes it at the 5-yard line. Frank Pollard, the rookie from Baylor. And this time, Pollard goes down at the 22, and a flag goes down with him as Derek Ramsey was down there defensively for the Raiders. There's Frank Pollard, 11th round draft pick.
I'll tell you, he's some player. He is a lowercase Robert Newhouse. Same style, same build, isn't he, Frank?
He is, and they were able to get him cheaply in the 11th round because he missed most of his senior year with an injury, a broken jaw. And here's our call by Pat Haggerty.
Personal foul. Clipping, number 72 on the return. First down.
Clipping call. Working against the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, the Steelers begin at their 11-yard line. And Bradshaw hands off to Russell Davis. And Davis turns the corner, gets out over the 15 to the 16, a gain of 5. It'll be second and 5. John Matuzak was over there hustling from his defensive end position. And I'll remind you again, if you follow the Raiders, you know that they shuttle people in and out at all different times of the ball game, depending upon the situation. Matuzak will move to the inside. He will even, at times, move over into the middle, and then you'll see Cedric Hardman, a longtime star for the 49ers, who is now a Raider, come in and play defensive right end. Browning will move to the inside. Complicated? Yes, it is. They had to call timeout in the first quarter because of it. Bradshaw fires to Smith, overthrows in front of Lester Hayes. Incomplete. It'll be third down 4.
There's the shot of Franco Harris, who hopes to get in tonight. He may. Strained ligaments. In the meantime, an important series in its way. We often say that, Don. Bradshaw wanting to reestablish immediate dominance because suddenly it's gone back to Oakland.
3 wide receivers are in now. As you saw Randy Grossman come out of the lineup, Calvin Sweeney comes in, number 85. So we have Sweeney, Bell, Smith on what Oakland anticipates as a passing down for Bradshaw. Inside handoff to Russell Davis, and he explodes behind the blocks of Mike Webster and Tyrone McGriff, who is in there, a rookie starter at right guard out of Florida A&M. First down, Steelers.
I would like to think that that was an audible. I just looking up here at the old quarterback days, you saw the Raiders shift in late, trying to move into different defensive sets to maybe throw off Bradshaw, but they left that middle open. The middle linebacker, the big rookie that we've talked about, Matt Millen, moved into a 3-point stance. I would like to think that Terry called an audible and they trapped him.
Davis moved to the 28-yard line. First down, Steelers. They still have yet to punt.
Right there.
Smith is open. He bobbles but holds on, gets to the 45, another Steeler first down. And again, working in front of Lester Hayes.
This is a pass pattern that I think a lot of coaches feel there's really no way to stop this pattern if you've got the receiver that'll go across the middle and the quarterback that'll throw right between those linebackers. Awfully hard to get somebody in there. It forces that safety to come up, play another position. It forces that cornerback to play him tight to the inside. Jim Smith came across the middle, made a good
Well,
catch.
that's the man he's got left without Stallworth and Swan. We said it in the start of the show, and he's using Smith to the uttermost.
Bradshaw 6 of 9, hands off to Russell Davis, and Davis finds a little opening, gets out close to midfield, but a flag is down. Davis with another pickup of 5, and you saw Ray Penny throw the flag back, and it's going to be marked off again against the Steelers.
You mean fragile Ray Penny? Picked up that fragile Ray.
250.
250, 6'4".
Hey, he's fragile compared to the Oakland offensive line. We'll run that weight down for you in a little bit. Let's get the call from Pat Haggerty.
Holding, number 52, offense.
All-pro at center, Mike Webster. having his difficulties, and he laid a hand on someone.
You're seeing a tremendous ebb and flow. What you're seeing is the best there is in pro football. The AFC with two of its very best teams. Don't have to tell you about Pittsburgh, but right now the AFC leads the NFC 15-5 in interconference play.
And Pittsburgh looks at a first down and 20. Quickly, it goes to Greg Hawthorne. Behind the screen, Hawthorne cuts back. And Hawthorne to midfield.
Really well set up.
15-yard pickup. It'll be second down and 5. Defensively, Randy McClanahan finally made the stop, and that was set up beautifully.
What they have to worry about with Hawthorne, as you know, Frank, is the fumble. It's like Sidney Thornton, Thunder Thornton.
Maybe we'll see at the top of the C-84, Grossman coming across the top from the other opposite position. Grossman comes in. He's going to throw a block down here in a minute. A lot of people say, you got Benny Cunningham. There's 84 throwing a block. Why isn't Benny Cunningham playing?
He's well enough to play, but Grossman is the secure player, and that's what Noel wants at this point in the season.
Somebody told you the same thing they told me.
Second down 4, Bradshaw rolling out. Looking for Bell, he's covered. Bradshaw, look out Terry. Hangs it up and almost picked off by Monty Jackson, and Bradshaw was really level.
That's big Dave Pear, Frank, that got him after a while. Pear, he had some time, did a little scramble, but when he stopped, set to throw, Pear kept pursuing and gave Terry a pretty good hit. There's a flag down, I see.
Another flag down in the field. Bradshaw coming into tonight's game, second in the AFC to Steve Grogan after 6 games. And let's look at the end of that play when Bradshaw really gets pounded.
This is the time the quarterback finally forgets about those guys. And Terry, as I think we have mentioned, has some sore ribs.
Now to a man downfield. Number 55. Now to a man downfield.
Anytime you start running around back there, as long as Bradshaw does, some of your offensive linemen, figuring the ball has been released, try to get down to help out. At that time, John Cole was deep downfield. They moved the ball back inside the 41 of the Steelers. Second down, 14. 4:14 remaining in the first quarter as Rocky Blyer checks into the lineup, number 20, along with Russell Davis, number 45, and the Steelers on top 10-7. This is Russell Davis. Gets the block from Blyer, but he cuts back, and another flag is down as Davis gets to the 48-yard line. Hendricks on the stop. And the crowd is getting a little antsy about all the laundry being thrown by the officials. Holding this time against the Steelers, and they won't like that at all.
Well, they may not like it, but it's a matter of record that Pittsburgh is the most penalized football team in the National Football League, as well as the most fumbling.
And they've also punted less than the other teams.
That's true.
Yes.
Holding number 52.
Mike Webster having a little problem in there, perhaps with Dave Pear, open predominantly tonight in the 3-4 defense. And, of course, Webster at his center spot working against noseman Dave Pear. Now the Oakland Raiders shuffle people in and out of the lineup, anticipating pass. And, of course, that is not all that heady because Terry Bradshaw is looking over a second down and 24.
They got the 4 defensive linemen in there.
This is how they hurt San Diego a week ago, bringing the 4th man in. They bring in Willie Jones, number 90, a second-year man out of Florida State, and he really turns it loose. Bradshaw steps up. And hustling back on the pass rush was Willie Jones. We know he's quick. He was all the way in on Bradshaw and then turned around and made the stop on Bradshaw after a pickup of 12. It'll be third down and 12.
He didn't just make the stop, Giff. He buried him.
Willie Jones, not all that big, 245 pounds, but Oakland likes to bring him in on the pass rush, and he's very quick.
Fragile.
It was Joe Turkey Jones that really hurt Terry a few years ago up in Cleveland, and he's another fragile player there you've got. Right, very fragile.
The 3 wide receivers are in. Out comes the tight end. So Calvin Sweeney, number 85, joins Tim Smith, 86, Theo Bell, 83. Third and 12. Ball at the 48-yard line of the Steelers. Flag is down. Bradshaw strong arms it towards Smith.
Oh, what a catch.
At the 10-yard line, a beautiful catch. He was running stride for stride with Lester Hayes. The ball could not have been thrown better, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
It really was thrown well, but what a beautiful catch, too. Smith stretched out. Oh, boy.
Illegal procedure indicated against the Steelers.
A tough call. Let's look at the catch again.
Doesn't make any difference whether it counts or not. It sure is pretty to watch because it was a great throw.
Did you see that move?
Yeah, he turned Lester Hayes, as we talked about. He's a terrific defensive back. Watch his head. Look at it. Right eyes on the ball all the way. Reach out as far as he can reach out. If it had been another foot, he couldn't have caught it.
Funny thing is, a few minutes before we took the air, I was with Lynn Swan. Look at the penalty differential. Right there. That's why the game is only 10-7. But I was with Lynn, and he was wearing a brand new sport jacket, by the way.
And wearing what kind of cologne?
The kind you would wear, a cashmere. I said, when are you getting back? He said, as quick as I can move. I'm not letting Smith have another game.
Lonnie, of course, out with a broken rib. 47-yard gain negated by a procedure call against the Steelers. Third down, 16, Bradshaw back. Crowded, and Bradshaw goes down in the arms of Ted Hendricks. The Raiders coming with their blitz, and one of the best in the business is this 12-year veteran, Ted Hendricks.
Well, you go to the well so often, and they're going to get you. Obviously, he's been going back to pass. It has put a lot of pressure on that offensive line, but you'll see Hendricks from the outside throwing a rather inexperienced Russell Davis off to the side. Says, I'm going after Bradshaw. You got the wrong number on, Sonny.
Craig Colquitt hobbles out for the Steelers. I say hobble out because he was unable to kick last week in most of the game against Cincinnati. Had to run with the ball, sprained his toes and his left foot, but he kicks right-footed, so he's back in the lineup at the moment on fourth down. Hiram Matthews is deep for the Raiders. Colquitt doesn't turn it over. It's a short kick. Matthews from his 37-yard line. And down goes Matthews at the 42-yard line. Webster was hustling down for the Steelers, and they say Oakland has got it back. 35-yard punt as the veteran Mike Webster was down there to make the stop on Matthews.
Bradshaw took over the punting job, Frank. You may have mentioned last week when Colquitt couldn't punt. So let's take a look at the end of this. Making a quick move into the inside is Ira Matthews. He is down, then fumbles the ball. It is recovered by Marvin Kopp.
And Oakland will have the ball at their 42-yard line. We have 2:40 remaining in the first quarter. 10-7 Steelers. There is Jack Lambert walking the sidelines. He has not gone back into the lineup. They were administering aid to his knee earlier. Jack appears like he wants to go back in, and he is indicating what it looked like to me as football players do. There's a little loose in there. And there is Dan Pastorini, quarterback of the Raiders, who was severely hurt against Kansas City a couple of weeks ago. He has a broken leg, of course, out for the year. Meanwhile, Jim Plunkett has taken over, and Plunkett hands off on 1st and 10 to Kenny King. And Kenny King gets 4 up to the 45-yard line. It will be second down at 6. Robin Cole, number 56, defensively for Pittsburgh with number 23, Mike Wagner.
We still have 2:25 left in the first quarter. What a quarter it's been. 10-7 Steelers. And yet, at this point in time, one looks back at Pittsburgh mistakes. Their last drive had 35 yards in penalties, which is what held them back.
Plunkett looks over the 4-3 defense of the Steelers. They like the blitz, and they anticipated blitzing a great deal tonight. But this is Kenny King, and Kenny King goes down in the arms of Donnie Shell, one of the fine defensive players in football today. Came up as a free agent 7 years ago, made this team on special teams, really. Didn't become a starter until 3 years ago. All-Pro last year.
Strained knee on Lambert. We don't know if he'll be back, and that could really hurt the Steelers. Could kill them. By the way, I think Donnie Shell's the best strong safety in football.
He is true. He's really tough, isn't he?
You mentioned that, Howard, about Lambert. Dennis Winston is in there now, number 53 on the defense, but he also has a chronic back problem, and they never really know how long number 53 Winston can go in any given game. Third down, 9. Plunkett looking over the defense, puts Chandler in motion. A lot of pressure, but Plunkett eases out of it and fires incomplete, intended for Raymond Chester. He does not hold on. Chester, of course, a bit on the spot because this past week, one of the great Oakland Raiders, Dave Casper, was traded to Houston. And, of course, Chester is not any child in this game. He's been around 11 years, but the Raiders thinking, the word was they got a first and 2 second-round draft picks for Casper. They figure they can get 3 good players in the draft in the next 2 years.
And when would they get that kind of value again? And without going into personalities, Casper beset by a number of personal problems. I think a great deal for Al Davis.
And I started to add they have Derek Ramsey coming up, and Todd Christensen, who they plan to convert from running back to tight end. This is Ray Guy. And this will be Theo Bell
Good move there.
Collected at the 15-yard line, hustling down there, Otis McKinney, the third-year man out of Colorado. Short week for everyone in pro football is here tonight because we are going to be in Dallas Sunday, and what a game we have coming up.
They're going well in Philadelphia.
Yes, happy to be here.
Yes, sir.
Considering the circumstances. On 1st and 10. Bradshaw.
Whoa, that's
Smith wide open.
Love that kind of pass.
Over linebackers in front of the secondary. First down, Pittsburgh. Out at the 41-yard line.
I don't believe Jim Smith.
Well,
It's no wonder Swanee wants to get back.
I'm not taking anything away from Jim Smith. A heck of a catch. The throw was really pretty because it was that deep throw dropped in the bucket over those linebackers in front of the secondary. Smith made a good move. A lot of teams don't even have this kind of pattern in their offense because the quarterback can't throw it. That's a tough pattern to throw.
Let me tell you, if Theo Bell had been up 3 yards and made a block, if they would have had a touchdown on the play.
3 receptions, 61 yards for Smith, including a 19-yard touchdown. Handoff at the first down. Greg Hawthorne, big hole again, and Hawthorne carries a Raider down close to the 45-yard line. It was Burgess Owens getting the ride, but it's another Pittsburgh first down at the 46-yard line as we head towards the end of the first quarter, and there it is. Explosive offensive game here at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Two of the great rivals in the AFC, the Steelers and the Raiders, will be back. It's not even a lunch break.
Isn't that amazing? He's thrown a touchdown in his last 12. This is 13 games in a row. He's also thrown an interception in every one of those games. So hey, we have still some other things to look forward to.
He's got a string of 13 games going.
Yeah.
That he's thrown for 200 yards or more. The best in the business. Bradshaw looking over 1st and 10. The Raiders 46-yard line. Inside handoff, Hawthorne. And Hawthorne finding gaping holes in the Raiders line. Moves for 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. And let's take a look at the stats for the first quarter.
I should think.
Yeah. 2nd down 4. The ball near the 40-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Raiders staying in the 3-4. This is Hawthorne. Hawthorne tripped up by Matuzak, stumbles forward for a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it 3. Randy McClanahan finished off Hawthorne after Matuzak had moved along the line of scrimmage. And I'll tell you, John, man picked in the NFL draft. We'll tell you more about him as Bradshaw looks over his 3rd down and 3. The ball at the 39-yard line of the Raiders. Hands off to Russell Davis. Davis trying to carry Raiders forward to a first down. I believe he'll be just short.
Now, what do you do, Don?
Is it 3rd? 4th down coming up?
Yep.
Well, if you're going to play those odds that you're talking about on the first down thing, I would say right now he'll go for it. I don't. Let's see, that'd be like a 50-yard field goal. I would say he'd go for it.
Yard markers come out. Mike Davis came up there from his strong safety position. He's been playing well for Oakland. He made the stop and is short of the first down. It'll be
a pretty good little way to go, though.
I think it's beyond Matt Barr's consistent range.
I think so, too.
I would go for it.
Yeah, I think so. You're going to go down there if you punt. If you have a terrific punt, maybe.
Russell Davis, 45. Greg Hawthorne, 27. His 4th down. You saw how much?
Offside, almost.
Steps inside. Davis easily has the first down. No flags down. And Davis inside the 35. The Steelers have a first down. And back comes their offensive unit onto the field. The short yardage offensive unit comes off.
Frank, you watch the Steelers, you wonder where they come up with all these players. They pick last every year.
They got one right there where they picked absolutely last. Tyrone McGriff. He was the last guy picked in the draft, number 61, starting at right guard for him.
Florida A&M.
Well, he actually went to Canada, as a matter of fact, and played and got cut up in Canada. And they called him from Hamilton. They said, hey, we got a good player here, but we have a limit on how many Americans we can have up here. I think this guy can play for you, and he does.
Bradshaw again on first down. Over the middle is complete. And inside the 20-yard line goes Vinny Cunningham, the tight end, the big one, who really cannot dislodge Randy Grossman at the tight end. But he does see quite a bit of
team that with 2 good tight ends, but they use them primarily for blocking. Go to those outside receivers.
Oakland stays in the 3-4. It has not been able to pressure Bradshaw. But
Bradshaw
sends Davis off the left side behind Ray Penny and John Kolb. And he moves all the way down to the 7-yard line where it'll be first down and goal. And Russell Davis filling in for an injured Franco Harris, whom we were told could play if he had to play tonight. But he is suffering from a knee injury that bothered him. First and goal. And this is Hawthorne. Right side, a sprint to the corner of the end zone. And he does not get in. They'll mark it inside the 1, however. Mike Davis up there with the force from strong safety for Oakland.
But how quickly on the prior play, Frank called John Kolb for you. When John is in there, and he's been out a couple of weeks because of an injury, you'll get that typical Pittsburgh quick trap. And Kolb was right in there, leading the way. Number 55. Great play.
One of the strongest players in all of football. Well, you've heard a lot about bench pressing. Well, he just breaks the weight machine, does John Kolb. He actually has missed 5 games. Kolb with a very severely sprained ankle, but he's back in there tonight, and he's helping the Steeler offense. Second down, less than a yard to go. Hawthorne hurdles into the end zone, and the Steelers have scored once again. And what an offensive show you're seeing tonight. The Pittsburgh Steelers, playing with a lot of injured football players, have moved the ball almost at will up and down the field.
And they know they have to win tonight. Chuck Noll really gave it to him. He said, you played 1 quarter of football against the Bengals. We've got to get back to playing football. Frank told you earlier, you second-string guys, you're going to have to prove yourselves. Right now, they're doing a long way to go, though.
Here's Matt Barr. The punter, Craig Colquitt, is the holder for the Steelers. Barr drills the conversion. And the Steelers extend their lead over the Oakland Raiders in one of the oldest rivalries we have seen in the AFC. They do not like each other. We'll be back in a moment. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith, watching the patched-up Pittsburgh Steelers put on an offensive show here in the first half in Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Steelers on top 17-7. This is Matt Barr to kick off. Ira Matthews is deep for the Oakland Raiders. This is Arthur Whittington as Barr continues to kick away from Matthews and Whittington out to the 30-yard line, and the Raiders move their offensive unit out onto the field. Oakland Raiders again with Jim Plunkett at quarterback. And what a story he is. Heisman Award winner in 70, came up #1 draft pick in all of football. 3 solid years, actually 4 solid years with New England. Traded to San Francisco for 3 #1 draft picks, a second-round draft pick, and quarterback Tom Owen. Never put it together for the 49ers. They released him after the 77 season. The Oakland Raiders signed him in 78. They said, we don't even want you to play. Get your confidence back. And last week, he was scintillating in a win over the San Diego Chargers. Jim Plunkett on 1st and 10 to the air. Plunkett.
Good moves. Good
Dancing
moves.
out of the pocket for a pickup of 7 yards out to the 38-yard line where it'll be 2nd down and 3.
I don't care if it was only 7 yards, Don. That was a great play.
It truly was, because number 1, he saved himself a loss, a sack from about 4 or 5, made some good quick moves there. Very agile. Hopefully not fragile, but very agile.
You know, you just have to feel for this man. You'd like to see him come back. He came up a year after Terry Bradshaw. And, of course, Bradshaw has gone on to all the fame and acclaim, while this man was suffering through what had to be 3 miserable years in the life of a football player.
Wasn't he a great college quarterback?
Heisman Award winner at Stanford.
He just could really feel he was so pretty. Look at that. Good run.
Van Egan gets the first down, and the workhorse of the Raiders offense for the past 5 or 6 years gets the first down out to the 47-yard line, taken by Mike Wagner. We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations around the country to identify themselves. Oakland Raiders have a first down at their own 46-yard line. Explosive game from the very beginning. Steelers scoring on their very first drive. Bradshaw in total control. Steelers leading the Raiders 17-7. Plunkett, play action, and immediately in trouble. He gets away from Robin Cole, and a flag is down as Plunkett throws it away. Now another flag goes down. We'll probably have a call against Plunkett for throwing the ball away, but there was a flag down before that.
Either that or holding right before Plunkett threw the ball away.
Could have been both, but that was an indication of the pressure that... Here we go.
Holding, number 78. Intentional grounding. Offense.
Well, they got both of them. Art Shell, the big man on the left side, number 78. Holding, there he is, all 300 pounds of him. They list him as 280, but I asked some of the Raiders. They said he's closer to 3.
You all know about Shell 78 and Upshaw number 64 and 63. Well, Bealey used to be 64, but Oakland habitually through the years has run left behind those two.
Intentionally grounding, number 16, offense. Second down.
That, of course, will be the call. That's the major. There's a loss of down also on that, so it'll be second down and 20. Ball back at the 36-yard line. They're big. You mentioned Gene Upshaw, Howard. He's the smallest lineman offensively for Oakland. He's 6'5", 255 pounds. They average along that front offensive line 262 pounds. The Oakland Raiders. So far, that has not impressed the Steelers. Plunkett this time with time to throw the ball, and stepping in front of it is Mel Blount. He almost got the pick off. The intended receiver was Cliff Branch, and a flag is down. It could have been a late pop on Plunkett.
So really good defensive play by Blount. It's one of those they try to lull you to sleep. I think you're right.
Yeah,
the sign of a
good call, Giff.
But Blount made a good move, kind of laid back a little bit, allowed Branch to come into the inside. I heard that.
Yeah. Third down and 20. they put it down there. I'll call it. Derek Ramsey comes in at tight end, number 84, former quarterback, you might remember, from Kentucky. Plunkett again with a lot of time, going high for Cliff Branch, who's in a sprint back there with Mel Blount, and the ball very short. And that will bring up fourth down. Plunkett, not a bad call on third and long yardage. If he gets it picked off, it's going to be picked off way down around the 20-yard line of the opposition. He might draw an interference call with the great speed of Branch, but he gets neither of those situations, so out comes the punting unit.
But a very difficult series for Oakland. They really had to reestablish there to keep the ebb and flow of this game going, and they didn't do it.
This is a weapon that we've talked about many times that Oakland has that no one else really does, and that's Ray Guy. And that does figure in, I think, in the way they call their offense. They know they got a guy that can, hey, they're going to put it out there. Don't take a chance on a 3rd and 20. We got a guy that can punt it 50 yards, 60.
Guy hangs it high, and it is a beauty. This is Theo Bell from the 15-yard line for the Steelers.
Pretty good return.
Bell.
Yes, sir.
Some Raiders out close to the 30-yard line. He got an additional 7 yards out of that.
That was a fine return.
So Ray Guy busts the big one, and Theo Bell makes a fine return, and the Steelers will have the ball at the 30-yard line. We have 8:24 remaining in the half. Steelers 17, Raiders 7. Steelers game for the Steelers. But the Steelers leading the Raiders 17-7. Bradshaw brings them up. First down and 10. The ball at the 29-yard line of the Steelers. Bradshaw again with all the time in the world, and the turnover is Ted Hendricks. Big Ted Hendricks, who he just keeps moving along like Old Man River. Seems to get better every year. Now in his 12th year.
Man is unbelievable. 1971, clearly the best defensive player in the league when he teamed up with Rudy May and Mike Curtis the year the Colts won the Super Bowl 16-13 over Dallas. You look at the replay, Bradshaw made a mistake.
I think he did. You'll have to wonder how in the world. Look, you saw Hendricks trying to lateral there, but you'll have to wonder if Terry just didn't see him, because he looked like to me he threw it right in there where he is. So once again, he's thrown at least one interception every game for the last 12 also.
Important turnover for the Raiders. They're down 17-7. They have the ball inside the 40-yard line of the Steelers. This is Kenny King.
Wow. There's your Donnie Shell.
Leveled by Donnie Shell and Jack Ham. But behind San Diego and tied with the Seattle Seahawks of Jack Patera. Second down and 9. Pittsburgh, of course, on top of the Central Division of the AFC.
Sure scoring. Look at that. Here they come again.
Plunkett dancing, trying to get rid of the football. He throws it up over the extended arms of Raymond Tester. Incomplete. It'll be third down and 9. Donnie Shell was in there from a safety position, blitzing Jim Plunkett.
1 for 7 for 8.
That's it. Dangerous throw. Bad statistics for Jim, and yet perhaps misleading. Give him protection. I think you'll see the old Plunkett. But he's proved it.
You're also seeing a really strong pressing defense. They are lining up the way. You see his stats from a week ago, and that was a good statistical game for him. one TD. But tonight, I think he's going to see that kind of pressure all night long. He's got to hit real quick passes to get him off of it.
3rd down, 9. Plunkett out of the pocket and fires into the end zone. Close to it is Chandler. Bob Chandler goes up at the 1-yard line, and he was wrestled down by Mike Wagner, number 23, short of the end zone, and Oakland is threatening.
There was Chandler, the gifted veteran, who has an uncanny way of being loose.
It's J.T. Thomas is the guy back there, number 24, who misjudges this. You'll see him come into the screen. He's working on Wagner, cuts to the inside, made a good move on Wagner, left him out there.
He really did.
Into the screen, she comes right now. Is an ill-timed jump. You saw Thomas had position, but it was off balance. The ball was thrown. I think maybe Plunkett's move to the line of scrimmage froze him a little bit because just dropped over there. Right there, 1st and goal on the 1.
Set to go, 1st and goal. 2 tight ends are in. Short yardage offense for the Raiders. Van Egan coming up short. Bottom of that pile is Dennis Winston, who is playing for the injured Jack Lambert. They don't lose all that much, as great as Jack Lambert is with Winston, a middle linebacker, except he is really questionable. He has been missing games because of a sprained back.
I think they lose in another area, though, Frank. Lambert is the guy that do. Yeah, there's Tom Flores on the sideline, but Lambert's the guy that really does kind of hold that defense together. He's a screamer and a yeller, and they all look to him for that, I think, very important leadership role.
Lambert on the sidelines, of course. 2nd and goal. And Kenny King. We saw Robin Cole, number 56, saying, no, he did not get in. Indeed, he did not. It'll be 3rd down. And keep in mind, they had a 1st and goal from the 1, and Flores looking on almost in disbelief.
You know, Flores has been perhaps taken too lightly as a coach because everybody knows of Al Davis's dominance at Oakland, and yet they always took Madden, a great coach, too lightly. They only realized how great he was when he left. And I've got a feeling that Flores is being taken too lightly, too, Don.
Certainly not inexperienced, because he's been coaching for quite a while, just not as a head coach.
3rd and goal. Kenny King, he is piled up. He tried to make a second surge. He does not get into the end zone, and decision time now for the Oakland Raiders. It'll be 4th down.
What do you do, Don?
There's no decision. You got to go, and if you don't make it, Pittsburgh's still 99 yards away. They got to get some points in order. I think 3's not enough right now. They can see Pittsburgh's been moving that ball up there. They got to have 6.
They're on the edge of the goal line.
Gotta go.
Todd Christensen, number 46, a gifted athlete, a Dallas discard of a year ago, comes in with the play from the bench.
Christensen would not play tight end Calandra. Absolutely refused. He's agreed. With Oakland, Davis thinks he's got a great future.
Either that or another career. And the man with the ball is Van Egan. The Steelers, Joe Green, says no. They did not get in, and this has got to be a great lift for the Steelers defense because they have been much maligned. He's coming into this game. Oh, they do give it to him.
I imagine he made it on his own. They just couldn't get in there and see, but he's got that ball right there on the goal line.
He went in like a groundhog, and we've got some football game.
There is hesitancy on the part of the officials, and all of a sudden we get the call. Van Egan, let's look again.
I still think, Frank, that Steeler defense, you can see him pushing in there. It's hard to tell from this angle, but that ball's on the goal line. But still, they held him. They made him go 4 times for 1 yard, so that's still a pretty good indication that defense is strong.
Well, what the whole series proves, fellas, is you can't give Oakland an inch. One Bradshaw mistake, the turnover, the Hendricks intercept, we've got a ball game.
Chris Barr on for the conversion. Oakland at the 1. It took them 4 downs to get in. And Oakland moves to within 3 of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we have 5:22 remaining in the first half. Tough football game. Van Egan just squeaking in for the Oakland touchdown. We'll be back. Steelers leading now by 3. Chris Barr hits it. Frank Pollard in his own end zone looks it over, and he better get on it. Which he does. It'll be a touchback, and the Steelers will begin at the 20-yard line.
You're right, Frank. He better get on it. It's amazing how through all of the years the most experienced players forget the rules They'll let a ball get away in the end zone. Bang, touchdown for the other team.
It has happened that time. Of course, Pollard in the end zone covered it. And the Steelers will start at their own 20-yard line.
Remember,
here we go. Two bitter rivals in the AFC. This is Russell Davis. And Davis goes for 4, but a flag is down.
Man.
Hey, really getting caught up in those penalties tonight over there, aren't they?
By the way, Bradshaw's gone from 8 of 11 in the first quarter to 9 of 13. So
first down and 20. Bradshaw will have to be careful. I don't think that word's in his vocabulary.
That's a good one right there.
Screen.
Oh, that's pretty.
Goes to the tight end, Benny Cunningham.
Beautiful.
Cunningham gets a block. And Cunningham out for a first down over the 30-yard line. No flags down on this one. Dave Browning made the save there. Beautifully set up screen. And you don't see screens in pro football much anymore because of the reading defenses, and that was a beautiful one.
It's kind of an unusual one, too, Frank. Even, the tight ends, when you see a screen, more likely than not, it will be to that back. But Cunningham moved out. They did have a good one. He cut back. You'll see Browning, number 73, coming in from his defensive end position. And that almost was a saving tackle.
I got to tell you, Cunningham is cutting the mold of Casper and Francis. He really is.
The block that got the first down was by Greg Hawthorne. Bradshaw happy to be out from the shadow of his goalpost. On 1st and 10, goes to the air once again. And a diving catch, a good catch. No, they say he was out of bounds. Theo Bell. No, they give it to him out to the 47-yard line.
That was a good catch. Again, Terry. I'll take it. It's our time now.
Bradshaw has manipulated the Steelers from their own 10 out to their 47-yard line. And again on first down to the air. Underthrows Jim Smith, the intended receiver, feeling 2 interceptions. So we know he can get back in the pass coverage. On 2nd and 10. Hawthorne, right side, stacked up defensively. Quickly up there with Mike Davis, turning it to the inside where Ted Hendricks, number 83, met the charge of Greg Hawthorne. There will be a loss of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 12.
That was an interesting call.
Yeah, except, they made that a couple of times. They get them in that 3-man front, and if you can get on the outside, then you've got to have some really good pressure to come back up. What they caught was Oakland in the blitzing sort of a defense, closed them in.
Rocky Blyer comes in. He's a good receiver. He wears number 20, of course, and 3 wide receivers are in for Bradshaw on the 3rd and 12. Calvin Sweeney in there, number 85, with Jim Smith and Theo Bell.
Little blitz. Here they come. Look out.
Bradshaw will go down at the 35-yard line. Cedric Hardman was there, and they bobbled the ball in. Sprinting towards the end zone, number 53. That's Rod Martin.
And they
the
got
Raiders
it.
have turned it around, and Bradshaw is shaken up. Bradshaw, who was sacked by Cedric Hardman, coughed up the ball. Rod Martin picked it up, went into the end zone, and the Raiders are on top.
Things were going along so smoothly. All of a sudden, he got a lot of pressure from the outside. I hope it's no more than just having the breath knocked out of him. Let's see if we can take another look at it.
They forced Bradshaw out of the pocket and watched number 86, Cedric Hardman.
There he's got him.
He's had a career at doing that.
And there is a handoff from Willie Jones to Rod Martin.
That's
and
good
Martin
thinking.
takes it in. The story at the moment, a stunned stadium looking on their feet. Bradshaw is still on the carpet.
If this had happened yesterday, it would have been our most unusual play at halftime. Look at this.
Tell you something. John Cobb, that's a tough lick, man. John Cobb is the guy number 55. Bradshaw is still. And she immediately recalled that really a very potentially severe injury that he suffered a few years ago. I mentioned earlier. Statistic of qualifying for the pension before ever playing it down.
Recapping the play. Fumble by Bradshaw, picked up by Willie Jones. Lateral to Rod Martin. He rumbled 34 yards for the go-ahead touchdown. Chris Barr puts it through the uprights. And the Raiders lead the Steelers 21-17. Bradshaw's on the bench, and there is Rod Martin, fourth-year man out of USC. Actually started tonight in place of an injured Jeff Barnes. That's his first pro touchdown. will look again. The pressure coming on the blitz, and then Cedric Hardman, number 86, will sack Bradshaw. Comes Hardman. For so many years with the 49ers was a great pass rusher. Down goes Bradshaw. Does not fall on his left shoulder.
No,
that appears to be the one that's damaged. The pickup there by Willie Jones, the quick lateral to Rod Martin. Very heads-up play, but that is what has characterized the Oakland Raiders. Chris Barr will kick off for the Oakland Raiders. This is Frank Pollard. Again in his end zone, and this time he'll bring it out. And Pollard banged at the 15-yard line. Down goes a flag. He was hit high and hit often.
That flag came from a referee about 15 or 20 yards away. But, you know, I thought I might have seen a face guard thing just as he was getting ready to go down. Let's wait and see. Terry's going into the dressing room. Seems to be walking all right, but he is still holding that left arm.
And the penalty will be walked off against the Oakland Raiders.
On the kickoff, face mask on the return.
Offsides on the kickoff. Face mask on the return. 9-yard touchdown pass to Franco Harris. 5th-round draft pick in 1977 out of Youngstown State. Hands off to Russell Davis, and Davis pounds out to the 26-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Rod Martin made the stop defensively for Oakland.
Now they can't make another mistake. Suddenly, Pittsburgh has fallen into the habit of mistakes. The intercept by Hendricks on Bradshaw, then the sack, the fumble. Quickly, Oakland had taken the lead. And that's the way they lost twice to Cincinnati, and nobody knows it better than Chuck Noll.
Lifts down in a pressure position. The Raiders leading the Steelers 21-17. First pass of the night. Fires it complete to Randy Grossman over the middle. And Stout is his first attempt. Picks up a first down at the Steelers after the 35-yard line.
You see the crowd react to what they thought was a little bit late interference there from
their full complement of 3 timeouts. The Raiders with 2. Here comes the blitz. Stout has to get rid of it, and that's what you do with a young, inexperienced quarterback. It was Rod Martin in there defensively. 2nd down and 10. Raiders stay in the 3-4, but they can bring them all from that defense. Stout back, firing into the hands of Hendricks once again. Pass intended for Smith, and Hendricks has another turnover, and the ball close to midfield, and Oakland will have 2 timeouts, 1:45 remaining in the first half to extend their lead.
Oh, boy.
Frank couldn't have told you at a better time about the constancy of Pittsburgh mistakes. He was talking primarily about fumbles, and yet this kind of thing has plagued them too. Because in every game, as we take an end zone look that Terry has played, he has had both a touchdown pass and an intercept. Now this is Stout with an intercept that should give Oakland, with any luck, field goal position to add another score before the end of the half.
Things that those numbers didn't say about Hendricks, and Stout's never played against him, is that he's 6'7". And Stout could not get it over him. Oakland has the football, midfield. Plunkett on first down. Fires for Van Egan. He was well covered, does not hold on to the football. Jack Ham was there along with Donnie Shell.
Well, that was an ill-advised play, Frank, because then Jim could have been picked off, and that would have been an easy reverse score. Even in Houston, when Meredith said we're number 1.
Right.
1:40 on the clock. 2nd down, 10. Plunkett again to the air. That's it. Fires complete. Goes out to his running back, Kenny King. Wisely steps out of bounds, stops the clock, but short of the first down. Down around the 43-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mel Blunt defensively for the Steelers. Now they mark it at the 45.
Possibly moving into the field goal area, and we've mentioned earlier the Barr brothers are the kickers for the respective teams tonight. If there is a word on the 2 Barr brothers, Chris seems to have the stronger of the 2 legs.
Oh, he booted.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think he will have the range.
He reached one from 55 with Cincinnati a year ago, and Oakland let him try one from 61 this year. 3rd down, 7. Plunkett steps into the pocket.
Look out.
Firing deep is
Look out.
for Bradshaw.
Oh.
Touchdown. And Jim Plunkett again in trouble. Steps back into the pocket, and Morris Bradshaw comes up with 6.
We told you at the beginning of the telecast that Plunkett is back. We told you when he was 1 for 7, the figures were deceptive. Yes, Jim Plunkett is back.
That here, to me, is the key. Watch Plunkett right here, under pressure. Good, strong move. Oops, to the inside. That last little second gave him time. And Bradshaw's going right down the middle. Actually, the ball was thrown over the other shoulder, but Morris Bradshaw made a pretty good adjustment.
One of the toughest things a receiver can do.
Sure is, but touchdown.
Oakland. Looked like it was going to be a Steeler runaway in the first quarter. And Oakland, utilizing the turnover, has taken a commanding lead. They lead 28-17. 1:22 remaining in the first half. And this crowd, capacity crowd, is stunned. They really are. First, their quarterback has gone to the dressing room, Bradshaw. Their number 1 defensive player, Jack Lambert, is out of the lineup. Banaszak is out of the lineup. That's only coupled with all the other injuries they came into this game with.
Yeah, we mentioned the stuff.
Frank Pollard from the 2-yard line. And Pollard out over the 20-yard line, collected there by Otis McKinney, a real terror on the special teams for the Oakland Raiders. 1:17 remaining. Steelers have 3 timeouts, and they are in trouble.
One of the changes you'll see in the offense is that from now
talked to Cliff Stout and said, let's cool it off for a minute. Let's run this football, get ourselves in the locker room, pull our act together. But that, again, not the case. Stout right up on top.
Well, he got him wide.
Fires. Bell has the ball out to the 47-yard line. Burgess Owens made the stop. And the Steelers trying to conserve their timeout. Seconds ticking away. 1 minute now remaining in the first half. The Steelers have 3 timeouts. Stout hands off to Russell Davis. Just to make sure that the Oakland Raider defense is thinking that he will run the football. Davis steps out of bounds wisely. Theo Bell out of your shot, bottom of the screen. Randy Grossman is in the slot. Stout has the time. Dumps it off to Hawthorne. Hawthorne gets the first down, but the Steelers will have to utilize a timeout, killing the clock with 30. The ball inside the 40-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Stout, look out, looking into a crowd for Theo Bell, and Bonnie Jackson almost came up with it for the Oakland Raiders.
Bad play.
Well, that's looking at the intended receiver for the...
That's it, at most. They could even do it with 10.
Second down, 10. 32 seconds remaining in the half. Stout dumps it off to Blyer.
There it is.
Blyer pulls inside the 25 to the 22. Tackled by Ted Hendricks, and immediately time is called by the Steelers. 24 seconds remaining on the clock. Yard line. 24 seconds remaining in the first half. Raiders leading the Steelers 28-17. The Steelers have 1 timeout. Inside handoff. Hawthorne gets inside the 15 to the 13. Stout wants to use the final timeout. Keep in mind, Steelers have no timeouts. 17 seconds on the clock. Second down and about a yard to go. Ball resting at the 12-yard line. Stout fires, and it's down to the 1-yard line. And Smith tries to put it in the end zone.
What an effort.
And now they're saying, you will hear some ranting and raving about this one.
There will be.
Now, how do you like that, Cliff Stout?
I like
Did
Smith.
he come through? What a game this is.
I'll tell you, that sets up the second half.
Oh,
Cliff Stout, very cool. He had no timeouts. I'm surprised, really, that Chuck Noll would let him do that. But he found Jim Smith, who's just been spectacular in relief of Stallworth. Stallworth, of course, hurt in the second game of this season. And Smith gets it in the end zone. Touchdown, and out comes Matt Barr. 10 seconds remaining in the half.
What an effort by Smith to get that ball on the goal line.
that was unbelievable.
He went to about 6'8" to get it in there. Barr brings it close. The Steelers now down by 4 as they battle Matt Barr to kick off. 10 seconds remaining in the half. Ira Matthews, Arthur Whittington, and it'll be Whittington from the 12-yard line. And Whittington knuckles under at the 25-yard line. 5 seconds remaining. Randy Grossman down there defensively.
We had an Oakland-Denver game. Then we had a Kansas City game, another Kansas.
That's no notes, folks.
No notes.
Van Egan, left side. As Oakland content to run out the clock, which they do. And a wild and woolly first half ends with the Raiders on top, 28-24.
Pittsburgh. First downs overwhelmingly Pittsburgh, but Oakland with its opportunism, and apparently Terry Bradshaw will be back, though Cliff Stout was wonderful in driving the Steelers to a touchdown as the first half ended. That brought them right back into the thick of things. Interestingly enough, Oakland has taken advantage of every opportunity given to them by Pittsburgh via the turnovers that have plagued the Steelers all season long.
Gift set to go for the second half. Matt Barr will kick off for the Steelers. Ira Matthews is deep number 43 along with Arthur Whittington. Steelers 4-2 on this young season. If they lose tonight, they fall into a tie with Cleveland and Houston. The Raiders, a win tonight puts them one game behind San Diego in their division, and this is Matthews. Matthews out to the 25-yard line, popped there by Calvin Sweeney. Oakland's first possession. At the beginning of the first half, Pittsburgh took the ball the length of the field to put the first points on the scoreboard. It looked like a Pittsburgh Steeler runaway. And then a couple of turnovers, 2 interceptions by Ted Hendricks. And that really takes care of the time of possession because Oakland struck quickly after both of those. They also scored on a sack of Bradshaw, a fumble, and a lateral from Willie Jones to Rod Martin. There's Cliff Stout, who came in, took the Steelers the length of the field, picked up a touchdown with 17 seconds remaining to bring the Steelers to within 4. Plunkett's the quarterback to setbacks. Van Egan 30, Kenny King 33. On first down, Plunkett immediately to the air. Fires and is complete to the tight end, Raymond Chester, out close to the 29-yard line. It'll be a gain of 4 at second down and 6. Raymond Chester, originally drafted by the Oakland Raiders after a couple of years, traded to Baltimore, and came back a couple of years ago and had a sensational year a year ago with 58 receptions.
A first-round draft choice by Davis out of Morgan State, and now back. And a key man, and one of the reasons Davis was able to trade Casper.
Important game for these two bitter rivals in the AFC. Oakland trying to catch San Diego. Good hole there. Trying to maintain their lead as Van Egan gets the call and gets up to the 35-yard line, short of the first down by about a foot. Now they mark it at the 34, so it'll be about a yard for the first down. Jack Lambert went out of the action in the first half. Strain knee on the part of Jack Lambert. Of course, he is a bit of an inspirational leader to the entire defensive unit of the Steelers. Great middle linebacker, Jack Lambert. He's on the sidelines. Banaszak also had to leave the action in the first half. He's back in there now, however. Short yardage. Kenny King gets the call, and King breaks a tackle and pops for the first down and still goes.
Hey, that guy's a runner.
King out to the 44-yard line. First down, Oakland.
Frank, this kid is terrific.
You see a guy like this come from one team he played behind, as we mentioned earlier, Earl Campbell, but you wonder how many other really outstanding players are on clubs that, they just don't get a chance to play. But you get him moved in with another club, and he's turned out to be a real standout for him.
Well, they got Kenny King for Jack Tatum and 2 seventh-round draft picks. They originally wanted to draft him, but Houston took him in the 3rd round, Kenny King, a year ago, so Oakland couldn't get to him. Cliff Branch bobbles the ball incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
Don, as a former great quarterback in this league,
thank you.
You've got to be impressed with what Plunkett is doing.
Well, yeah, he has only thrown about, I think that was his 11th pass tonight, and he maybe completed 5. The thing that I'm impressed with is he's held his composure pretty well. And I think one of the things that happened earlier in his career, he kind of got his confidence. He was shaken up a little bit. So I'm glad to see him get that back, establish himself as a frontline quarterback.
Second down and 10. Plunkett looks it over. Ball at the 44-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Steelers put 4 men in the rush. Plunkett hangs it for Branch. He's there. Plunkett, who hit Branch a week ago for 43 yards, has hit for 56 yards again to the speedy Cliff Branch, and Plunkett is having himself a night.
That one was perfectly thrown. Mel Blount was out there. It appeared that there was a slight hesitation. Mel, I don't know whether he looked to the inside and saw Dirt Winston back there. That was Dirt Winston all the way back, the middle linebacker. See number 53, he takes off running. I don't know whether Mel thought he had some help coming from the inside or not, but it was a beautifully thrown ball. Cliff Branch is right there.
It all. He's got his poise back. He's got his confidence back. Too early a touchdown passes as you take still another look. Were thrown when the man was in trouble. Yes, he's back.
And that was all pro Mel Blount on the coverage.
Did it look to you, Frank, that he was looking for help from the inside or something, and he just wasn't in a very good position for him? That's
Bard drills it through the uprights, and Oakland extends their lead as quickly. We have more points on the scoreboard. 12:36 remaining in the third quarter. The Raiders 35, the Steelers 24.
Here's Bill.
Silence again overwhelms this jam-packed stadium, Three Rivers Stadium. The Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost 2 consecutive games in this stadium going back to 1970. Chris Barr hits it. Frank Pollard will take the short kick at the 7. And a big opening for Pollard. And he turns back into a crowd, gets out over the 30 to the 31. Hit there by Todd Christensen, who's been excellent on the special teams for Oakland.
There's Cliff Branch. And Frank just called it right on the button. He turned back into a crowd, Pollard did. Had he run right, he could have picked up another 5-10 yards easily. But it's easy from up here.
Bradshaw back into the huddle for the Steelers. If you were with us in the third quarter, you saw him go out. Holding his left arm, appears to be all right. First and 10, and Bradshaw hands off to Hawthorne. Hawthorne tries the right side. Pecks his way back to the inside and moves out to the 39-yard line. Gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Matt Millen, the rookie Penn State linebacker, in on the stop.
Big first down play makes the next call easy. We all know that. But what's important is that Pittsburgh stick to its game plan, not panic because they're down 11. And judged by that play, Mr. Bradshaw will not.
I absolutely agree with what you just said. I think that really is the real key. Stay exactly what you're going to do because they moved the ball so well early in the game.
Inside handoff. He goes to Russell Davis, and Davis close to the first down out near the 42-yard line. He had to reach the 42 for the first down. Russell Davis, of course, in the lineup tonight because Franco Harris had a slight injury to his knee last week against Cincinnati. They say he could play if he had to. We doubt if we will see him. We did not see him in the first half. First down indicated for the Steelers, also not playing tonight. Lynn Swan, Dave Stallworth, and a host of other Steelers. And it's beginning to sprinkle a little here. Very cool night in Pittsburgh. Temperature at game time, a little above 40 degrees. It was expected to go around in the low 30s. First and 10, the Steelers, their own 42-yard line. Look out. Bradshaw wisely drops to the turf. Rod Martin on the blitz against Bradshaw. He was in there. Also, the safety coming in was Mike Davis, number 36.
All right, look to the outside. Now, you've got Hawthorne, number 27. He's supposed to check the outside linebacker before he goes on that route. Nobody looked to the outside. Saw that guy with a little jump up and fake like he's going to block, but he never looked to the outside. Quarterbacks have long talks with those blocking backs. And look, guys, there ain't no way you're going to get a pass thrown to you with me laying down.
Loss of 8. It'll be second down and 18. Third sack of the night for the Oakland Raiders against the Steelers.
They're picking their times when to blitz. They're picking them very well.
Second down and long. Bradshaw over the middle to Hawthorne. Hawthorne trying to get to the outside, and he runs into Mike Davis, who makes the stop up at the 47-yard line, where it'll be third down and 8.
Well, I'll tell you, Russell Davis made a great block in there, but it still wasn't enough to spring Hawthorne loose to the point where he might have gotten enough yardage for the first down.
Now they marked the ball at the 42, so that will make it third down and 9. We talk about all the injuries for the Steelers. The Oakland Raiders defensively, they have lost their key free safety man, Charles Phillips. He's out with knee surgery. They've lost Monty Johnson, the fine linebacker, Bob Nelson, so they're playing with a lot of regulars on the sideline. Bradshaw on 3rd and long. Fires incomplete. Calvin Sweeney has the first down at the 40-yard line. Lester Hayes made the stop.
It obviously wasn't his right arm that he hurt.
No, it obviously wasn't.
Just really a drilled pass. This thing is really going. Smith goes straight down, not any finesse at all. That's just knowing, having a confidence. Man, that's Calvin Sweeney. I'm sorry.
And a 4th-round draft choice, and a guy who apparently wouldn't make the team, but did, and wisely used there by Bradshaw when everybody was looking for another receiver.
Actually, they had cut him.
Cut him and brought him back.
That's right.
On 1st and 10. Rocky Blyer. Big opening, and Blyer to the 38-yard line, and a flag is down. And Blyer has picked up 7 yards, but there is a flag down. Randy McClanahan in on the stop. And marked off against the Steelers, the holding indication. Referee Pat Haggerty tonight with his crew.
If that's Webster again, that would be 4. And I think he's going to have some serious talk.
I would think. They continue to make the key mistake, which is not the championship
Holding,
team.
number 52.
It was.
Webster's going for a league record. That's 4 on Webster tonight.
Now, right there is probably the story of this game. Give Oakland all the credit in the world. Plunkett all the credit in the world. Give them all the opportunism in the world. But Pittsburgh mistakes dominate.
The guy that Webster's working against is not Pear. Reggie Kinlaw has been in there through most of the night, and he is giving Mike Webster fits. Anytime a man gets called that many times for holding, he's having his problems. On 1st and 20. Screen, Randy Grossman.
Good move.
And Grossman gets back to the original line of scrimmage, the 40-yard line, up into there by Mike Davis.
Well, that was a very important down. They got back exactly the kind of yardage they needed on that down, Dandy, as you well know.
Yeah, you see that kind of thing happen quite a bit. You say, okay, I lost 10. Let me have 10 back, and I'll spot you 1 down. I've still just got 10 to go. You can do a lot more things looking for 10 than you can for 20. Well, that's bright, isn't it? I figured that out all by myself.
As Flores came in last year, replacing the legendary John Madden.
Yes, sir.
Had a 9-7 season. He used to quarterback these Oakland Raiders. 2nd and 10. Blyer, single setback. Bradshaw looking for Smith, and is batted away.
Almost intercepted.
Almost picked off by Lester Hayes. I believe it was Matt Millen who got a hand on it. Or Big John Matusak, who is also, like the stork over there, Ted Hendricks. Matusak is even bigger. He's 6'8".
Matusak is simply, when he plays the way he can play, not human.
Not human.
Bigger, stronger than Gifford in his prime.
Certainly bigger, certainly stronger, certainly in his prime. There he is, out of Tampa. First player picked in the 73 draft. Bradshaw looking over a 3rd and 10. 3 wide receivers. Calvin Sweeney back in the lineup for the Steelers. Bradshaw wants Smith. He has him, first down.
So tough to stop that pattern when these outside receivers have the speed they do. You saw Smith really stop, turn around. That takes a lot of good timing with that quarterback, and that's what he did. Nothing fancy, but see this little burst to the outside, I'm going to go deep. No, I'm going to stop, turn around right here. That's awfully tough on a defensive cornerback to cover.
Particularly when, under the new rules that came into effect in 77, once that receiver gets 5 yards downfield, you can't touch him.
That rule did what I guess they wanted to do. It sure has opened up the passing game and put a lot more points on the board.
Give you some numbers on that in a little bit. It's just been incredible. Crowd of 54,000 watching. 1st and 10. Ball inside the 26-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Bradshaw with play action, throws it up for Theo Bell. He does not hold on.
Oh, dangerous throw done. Double coverage, right in the middle of it. Dangerous throw.
Well, but let's give I can't get. Somebody made a real good move coming back in there to fill in on that deep safety. The ball was thrown right on line. Theo Bell, it was a quick throw. You mentioned a little play action fake on the inside. That's Aaron Matthews right there, but number 44, Burgess Owens, coming over from the safety. He's the guy that made the big jump and knocked it away.
Interesting to see Burgess Owens in an Oakland uniform. Shows what coaching can do. A number 1 draft choice for the New York Jets. Through all the years, they said he didn't measure up. But with this club, A great athlete. He more than measures up.
Second down, 10. Here comes the blitz, and Bradshaw drops the full ball and has to fall on it back at the 32. It'll be third down and 16.
Oh, that's bad.
Trying to make that handoff with the left hand. That we don't know exactly what injury that was, but it was to his left hand, left elbow, or something. And it appeared he made that fake, try to hold the ball with just that one hand. So whether it was his left hand or shoulder or arm, whatever it was, I think that might have caused the fumble.
Ball back at the 32-yard line. Raiders came right out here in the third quarter. Plunkett to Branch. 56-yard touchdown. They now lead by 11 points. Third and 16. Terry changing things off at the line of scrimmage. And a flag has gone down. The Pittsburgh Steelers have used too much timeout, and I'll tell you, Chuck Noll must be about ready to give up on the whole show.
It's unbelievable.
See him looking around, and you look what personnel you have in the game at that time. He had them in the formation he really couldn't do much with. He was trying to figure out, how can I change this play? Didn't have the right people in there.
Play of game, offense.
4 times Super Bowl champions, victimized constantly by their own mistakes.
Third down, 21.
Doesn't seem possible, does it?
No,
happens.
Does not seem possible.
Ball inside Oakland's 37-yard line, and the Steelers would like to come away with something if they could on this drive. 7:20 remaining in the third quarter. Bradshaw. Man is open. It's Bell. Touchdown. Touchdown. Bell. Third down and 21. And slipping and falling was Monty Jackson back there pursuing Bell. I don't know whether he could knock it away or not. He never had the opportunity. He fell. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Do you believe this game?
I can't believe that throw.
If the conversion is good, it'll be 35-31. We will have had 66 points. Let's look at an end zone replay.
Again, look at the mobility. He got him moving. He missed. That was Browning, came through there. Fell down. The ball's again right on the money. Theo almost went out of bounds, but he tiptoed through for 6.
To the Tulips.
That was Monty Jackson that we saw go number 42. He says, how in the world did I trip?
Here's Matt Barr for the conversion. Colquitt gets it down to the uprights, and the Steelers are back in it once again. What a scoring football game we have tonight. Again, a spread of 4 with the Raiders on top, 35-31.
What's the record height? All right, let's look at it again, isolation.
He actually stepped on Theo Bell's left foot. That's what caused Monty Jackson to fall. Theo Bell with a nifty catch and the touchdown. We'll be back in a moment. Here in Pittsburgh, with half of the third quarter still remaining, both teams have put touchdowns up on the scoreboard. Both coming on long passes. Matt Barr to kick off for the Steelers. And this will be Arthur Whittington from the 12-yard line. Down goes Whittington. Robin Cole hustling Whittington to the turf inside the 20-yard line.
Robin Cole. He is a good one.
What classics these two teams have produced over the 70s, and a lot of hard feelings that have been generated. The mystical catch by Franco Harris a few years ago, well remembered by Oakland. And, of course, the bitterness that came out of other games. Late hits, accusations, court cases. And now they're going at it in another classic. It's 35-31 with 7:07 remaining in the third quarter, and the Raiders are still on top. And the crowd is beginning to get into it. Nearly 54,000 of them capacity here at Three Rivers. Kenny King gets the call, and King runs into Dirk Winston after a gain of a couple.
Now, right here, Don, Plunkett must not become conservative. Do you agree?
I agree. You must not allow the hometown crowd, which this is a very...
There's a face mask call down on the field. Another flag indicated against the Steelers. Here's the call. Referee Pat Haggerty.
Big break right there.
Face mask, number 59.
Jack Ham. He won't get that call very often. One of the best in the business. Automatic first out at the 28-yard line.
They got the hammer last week against Cincinnati on another mistake you won't see him make very often, not covering a back coming out of the backfield. They got him for a touchdown.
rising to its feet, chanting defense. Kenny King, right side, finds an opening, and King makes a little something out of nothing, moving up close to the 35-yard line before Dennis Winston is able to pull him down. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Big first down play, just what you want to accomplish. You're right. Pete Johnson beat Jack Ham, and Jack will never forgive himself last week.
Well, he's made so many outstanding plays. I think it's almost a big surprise that, you know, you usually can always count on him being there, and he was not there a couple of times last week.
Bob Chandler splits right to Jim Plunkett on the 2nd down 4. Inside handoff. Van Egan powers forward. It looks like he might have the first down out close to the 39-yard line. To remind you, tonight after your local news, ABC News Nightline examines growing concern in Atlanta and Buffalo over a rash of murders that have plagued the black communities of both cities. That's later tonight after local news on ABC's Nightline. At the 39-yard line, the Oakland Raiders up to the line of scrimmage. Cliff Branch to the left, Chandler to the right. Wide receivers for the Raiders. Plunkett looking for Chandler. He's covered. He turns off and gets to Branch complete.
Good move by Plunkett.
That is cool.
I love the way he's handling himself.
Call it a lot of things, but mainly it's concentration. Don't lose your concentration. You know what you can do. He was trying to go to Chandler to the outside. It was well covered. Then you know where your next guy is. Just turn and hit him. He went back to Branch. That's a good move.
Had the protection, looked right, turned left, threw left. Beautiful.
Exactly what I saw.
2nd down, call it a long 2. They mark it at the 47-yard line.
The way Meredith did it, the way no one else could.
Right.
Jim Plunkett making his first start in 3 years last week against San Diego after Dan Pastorini had suffered the broken leg the previous week. Hands off to Van Egan, and Van Egan goes up close to midfield, and it looks like another Oakland first down. Now they're beginning to control the ball, which that is a little different. They were way behind in possession of time in the first half, and now they're beginning to grind it out, working on the clock. 4:40, and the clock is moving here in the 3rd quarter.
That's the thing about this Oakland team. You just can't give them a shot. They're opportunists.
Ball resting right at midfield. The crowd continues to chant defense. By Plunkett, running backs to the right, tries to get a man, single coverage, and fires complete.
I love
the 40-yard line, Raymond Chester.
I love the way he's calling these plays, Don.
He took his time again to let Chester clear. He was hit right between the two. There was pretty good coverage back there, but Chester had time, and Plunkett both had time to move in between those little zones and got him a good first down.
Document that story once again. He came up Heisman Award winner, #1 draft pick in the entire NFL, 4 great seasons. New England traded for 3 #1s to San Francisco, couldn't make it there, cut loose in 77. Oakland picked him up in 78. He did not play at all in 78 with Jim Plunkett. Played a little bit in 79 as he hands off to Van Egan. Van Egan struggles, fouls the ball. This is Robin Cole.
Oh,
And the Steelers get their own turnover.
that's the break they needed.
Robin Cole, tough against the run, and 3 Steelers are slow getting up at the line of scrimmage.
Let's just see. I don't know what happens, so let's just watch it.
That was Robin Cole missing the tackle. Van Egan gives the ball up, and Cole, who had missed the tackle, came up with it.
That was Plunkett that kind of slowed him down a little bit. Cliff Branch makes the tackle.
So now the Steelers, they're down by 4 points. They have the ball. They're in Oakland Raider territory at the 49-yard line, and we'll be back in Pittsburgh in a moment. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith in a wild and woolly football game from Three Rivers Stadium, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and nothing new about that. We anticipated it whenever these teams get together, as they have over the past decade. It's been something special. Steelers, Robin Cole's recovery of a Van Egan fumble, have the football, 49-yard line of the Raiders. Bradshaw under pressure, and down he goes again, the safety blitz. It was Mike Davis. Bradshaw down all the way back at his own 44-yard line, a loss of 7.
Frank and I saw Mike Davis and Lester Hayes come up We sat with Al Davis, and he said, I've got two of the best young defensive backs you'll ever see. Here's the replay. We'll continue the story. Don Caldwell.
Well, I don't think I can wait to hear the story. Go on with it. We see him kind of slip.
Well,
what happened?
Right there, you'll see Mike Davis come in and execute the sack. And Davis explained to us then, you'll remember, Frank, we had Willie Brown, we had Atkinson, we had Tatum. We couldn't break in the young ones. Now we can, and so they have.
Second down, 16. Bradshaw, screen pass. Benny Cunningham. Good screen in front of Cunningham, and a flag goes down as Cunningham goes down at the 40.
That could be another holding penalty against Pittsburgh.
It's unbelievable.
Well, this is going to be...
No.
Personal foul is going to go against Oakland.
Cedric Hardman was the guy they were having some words with back there. But I didn't.
Now the crowd loves it. Eats it up. Bradshaw hurt again.
Personal foul, 86.
Look at holding the left hand, Giff.
That's the arm that he was holding when he left the game in the second quarter. And the personal foul was Cedric Hardman. Defensively for the Oakland Raiders. The first down is at the 25-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, and out trots Cliff Stout.
So the junior Youngstown Rifle faces the task again. He was up to it as the first half ended. Let's watch.
Stout off the bench, puts Theo Bell to the left. Jim Smith out to the right. Cool, calm youngster. Hands off to Rocky Blyer. This play has been opening all night over the left side over Ray Penny and John Kolb for the Steelers. Blyer gets 4. It'll be second down 6.
Don, you were right. Penny is fragile.
Blyer comes out, and in comes Greg Hawthorne. Ball marked close to the 20-yard line. Cliff Stout, of course, as Don mentioned earlier, qualified for the NFL pension and had never been in a moments of play. And again, Bradshaw's shoulder is being treated on the sidelines. Stout remains in the game. Second down 6. Hawthorne pounds for a first down inside the 15-yard line. Ted Hendricks on the stop.
Good, tough running that time. Pulled out in front, just went for it. Had a good lead block by Rocky Blyer out in front.
Here comes Bradshaw back into the lineup.
Bradshaw is unbelievable. His courage, his strength. But now I understand why Bell beat SMU.
Cliff Stout must come out and say, hey, man, I'm doing all right out there.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Ball inside the 15-yard line. Minute 30 remaining in the third quarter. Raiders on top, 35-31. Bradshaw puts his two wide men to the left side. Reverse inside to Smith.
No.
I believe it was Smith, and I believe that play was designed to go outside, not inside.
I think it's one they just made up out there.
I think whatever was designed to be proved to be a catastrophe.
I'll tell you, Matuzak fell on top of Jim Smith, and Matuzak is right up there where you can't weigh him except the ice house. He goes about 285. Boy, that's a lot of men. Came up with Houston, remember, #1 draft pick?
That's right.
Signed with the WFL, and court sent him back to Houston. They shuffled him to Kansas City, went to Washington. They cut him, and the Raiders got him as a free agent.
Look at that figure on first downs, and the Steelers are behind.
Loss of 1, second and 11. Bradshaw, a lot of time. Overthrows Bell in the end zone, but he was well covered, picked up there by Monty Jackson.
Good defensive coverage all around. Just didn't have anybody open. I think Terry may have thrown that one away as much as anything.
So he'll have a third down and 11.
A field goal would help, but it's not what they wanted.
Steelers, I think, lead the league in their third down
conversion attempts, yes.
Yeah. I only thought they did, till now I know they do. It's close.
Third and 11. Calvin Sweeney goes out to the right by Bradshaw. Jim Smith is in the slot. Up at the top of your screen, the other wide receiver is Bell. Going in the corner of the end zone, and there is almost caught down there by Bell. Monty Jackson just turned around in time to see it.
Bell looked like he's trying to do one of those things. I'm not going to let you know that ball's coming this direction. I'm not going to make any moves right to last. Let's just see him. He said, wait a minute. Here we go. Johnson said, I've seen this song before. This time I'm not stepping on your feet. But look how Bell goes up for that ball. Almost made a great catch. Would have been out of bounds, though, I think, anyway.
All right, 4th down. We see Matt Barr. 32-yard attempt. Holder is culprit. Center is Mike Webster.
Matt has had some tough problems of late. Hit the goal post a couple times and barely missed one. And I think he just missed another.
Matt Barr drills it through the uprights.
That's close.
That is his 12th field goal out of 12 attempts from inside the 30. Steelers draw to within 1. 19 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and the Steelers have drawn to within 1. The Raiders 35, the Steelers 34. Matt Barr to kick off. Deep will be Matthews, 43, Whittington, 22. And it will be Ira Matthews, the second-year man out of Wisconsin, trying to turn the corner.
Out of bounds.
Turns the corner and steps out of bounds out of the 17-yard line. So the Oakland Raiders will begin deep in their own territory. He's to Cole, and boy, I'll tell you, he is a tough man against the run.
Easy to second guess, Frank, but I didn't like the sequence of calls, the play selection on the last Pittsburgh series of downs. Don, I don't see where they just don't use the tight end enough.
And I've sent word to the bench. I want Chuck Noll up here right now, and I want you to talk to him about that.
Well,
they have not thrown to him. We talked about it earlier. They have not used the tight ends except for the screens tonight, really that much.
Not only that, but Chuck will listen.
I know he will.
Puckett looks over the defense as the crowd chants defense. Puckett hands off to Arthur Whittington. Oh, and Whittington is drilled by Donnie Shell.
My gosh.
And that is a typical Donnie Shell tackle, and that ends the third quarter. The score, the Raiders 35, the Steelers 34. We'll return for the fourth quarter in just a moment. Quarter, 35-34, the Raiders over the Steelers. Raiders have the football, second down and 10. Ball at the 18-yard line. Tim Plunkett, who has been brilliant tonight, brings the Oakland Raiders up. Under pressure, Plunkett gets it off the tight end, Raymond Chester, and he has another Oakland first down out of the 29-yard line.
Now there's a guy used as his tight end.
He certainly does. And that first play, last play of the third quarter, you saw Donnie Shell come up and make a really good stop. Again, they get these defensive players aroused. And look there, what we got coming up next Sunday in Dallas, Texas. You talk about a shootout. We're going to have one next Sunday with the San Diego Chargers, with Hudson Company, and the old Cowboys there.
With Fouch-Ewell and with Danny White-Ewell. What a game.
Oakland first down, their own 29-yard line. Van Egan gets the call, and Van Egan breaks the tackle and pops out over the 30 to the 33. A gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Let's take a look at the third quarter stats. Big play game tonight.
Look at the differential in first downs. Rushing yards pretty even. Passing yards overwhelmingly Steelers. Total yards Steelers. Time of possession Steelers. But the opportunistic Oakland team with a resurgent Plunkett leads by 1.
Second down, 6. Ball at the 33-yard line. Inside handoff, Van Egan finds an opening out over the 35-yard line, close to the 36. It'll be 3rd and 3. And we're going to take this moment, even in the excitement of the game, to offer our sympathies to the family of one of our favorite people and one of the great cameramen in our business. Been with us since the start of Monday Night Football, Drew DeRosa, here in Pittsburgh. This morning he received a call that his father Phil had passed away. And Drew, we want you to know that we are thinking about you. Third down, 3. Ball just over the 35-yard line. Plunkett, good protection. Fires it is complete. Cliff Branch has another first down out close to midfield. They'll mark it around the 48.
I I just can't express enough admiration and respect for Jim Plunkett. Frank has told you twice tonight, detailed his personal history. As we look again, Don.
He's getting pretty good protection. Earlier part of the game, we saw a little more pressure, but again, Jim steps up in here, throws kind of a comeback pass to Branch. We've seen Branch do this before. Right on time and picks him up a first down.
Pride and poise, we Eubank used to say, and Al Davis always says, and this is what Plunkett has been tonight.
On first down, Plunkett will put it in the air again. Under pressure, and he goes to Branch again. Branch has another first down. He's down to the 38-yard line, stopping the clock with 12:10 in the fourth quarter.
It's a play like that that will make him think again about the blitz. You saw him come that time. They picked up the linebackers that were coming, and once again he worked to Branch, this time to the outside.
Don, he is running an aggressive game at a time when one would think a man might be conservative. It's a great performance by Plunkett.
Branch out to the left once again. Bob Chandler splits to the right. Plunkett mixing it up and sends Mark Egan up the middle. Inside the 35, close to the 34. A gain of a couple will be second down and 8. And he is calling a very heady game. Hey, what he's doing, he's keeping the Steelers honest with that pop up the middle. They can't totally disregard the run because they never know when he's going to put Van Egan or King between the tackles, so they have to play it a little conservative, does the Steeler defense. Arthur Whittington, the speedster. Speedster set back for the Oakland Raiders. Checks in. He wears number 22. Now Chandler and Branch are both aligned, as you see, to the right. Bottom of your screen is Chandler. In the slot is Cliff Branch. Plunkett feels the pressure. What a under tremendous blitzing pressure. It caused man-on-man coverage, and Cliff Branch was there, and Plunkett put it to him.
Oh, now that is lovely. I'll tell you, I don't believe the way this man has played today.
That was really lovely. Maximum pressure, had people all over him, threw the ball, and again, the ball could have been thrown much better. Cliff Branch, with his speed, had a step or two behind. Let's look at it again. Van Egan's going to pick up a block in here. That's really important. But they didn't pick them all up, and you saw him get hit by Robin Cole, number 56, just as he released it. One step on Donnie Shell, and you got 6 points.
And what's beautiful about this is the human drama, because it shows what the human spirit can do. And Jim Plunkett typifies. It's a great, great performance.
Let's go back once again. I said it earlier in 78 when Plunkett had been released by the 49ers. He was signed by the Raiders. They told him, we don't expect you to play a lot. You just spend a year, which he did without playing one moment in 78. He spent the entire year just getting the confidence back that he had lost.
Good concentration by Cliff Branch there.
And as you always do, you get a one-on-one situation with the blitz. Plunkett was able to read it, stayed cool, delivered to Branch, who had beaten Donnie Shell. Will be back. The stats on the night as we look at the scoring drive, the touchdown. Plunkett 12 of 20, 245 yards, 3 touchdowns, maybe more important, no interceptions. Chris Barr kicks off. Pollard will take it at the 3 for the Steelers. Look out. Pollard tries to turn it around, and that's a mistake. Gets to the 12-yard line, nailed there. They'll mark it around the 13. Rich Martini down there defensively for Oakland.
Made his original mistake when he caught the ball. Should have let it go in, touch it down. Unless you can get back to the 20 and past it, don't take the football.
And the next mistake, he let his blocking run away from him, and the other guys got through there. He didn't keep up with the blockers.
Set to go in a seesaw battle. The Steelers now, throughout much of the game, having to play catch-up. They've been able to do that. Bradshaw stays in the lineup on 1st and 10. Ball at the Pittsburgh Steelers 18. The handoff to Hawthorne, and Hawthorne runs into Rod Martin, and there will be a loss on the play back to the 10. A loss of 3. Oakland. And if you saw their game a week ago against San Diego, you know, in the second half, defensively, they really came to life. They really poured it in on Dan Fouts. They sacked him 7 times as they took that ball game from San Diego. And on the sidelines, you know, a man who would love to be in there is Franco Harris. Damaged his knee last week somewhat against Cincinnati. They decided they'd hold him out of tonight's action.
And if they lose tonight, the Steelers, they're tied with Houston and Cleveland.
Bradshaw, 2nd and 14, fires out complete. Goes out to Jim Smith. He's just short of the first down.
Terry got hit pretty good again on that, and I believe he's going to have to come out again.
Good Lord.
This is his right arm this time.
How much can he take? Yep, holding the right hand, the passing hand.
Well, he got hit again, but I think it was Matuzak was back there, and there was somebody else.
Rod Martin was back there on the blitz again.
He really just, I don't understand. You know, you get a lot of licks back in, and he's tough. But let's see if we can see what. There's Matuzak coming over a lot of people. And I think it's Matuzak is the one that kind of socks them up in there.
Matuzak could bury 12 quarterbacks at once.
He got number 12 right there.
That's gain of 13. It's 3rd down and 1. Ball out at the 23-yard line. Inside handoff, Hawthorne. He runs into Matuzak, and there'll be a loss on the play of a couple, and Pittsburgh will have to punt.
That could be it.
There was not
even this early. That could be it without turnovers.
9:20 and the seconds are ticking off the clock. Out comes the punting unit. Craig Colquitt for the Steelers. Ira Matthews settles in for the Oakland Raiders at about his own 37-yard line. Here he is. Has not been able to turn in the kind of punt returns that they expected of him. He's averaging a little over 4 yards coming into tonight. Led the nation at Wisconsin as a senior 2 years ago with over a 16-yard average. Off Colquitt's foot. He didn't want to kick that one. He hung it high, but it does take a bit of a Steeler bounce. It'll go out of bounds inside the 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. They'll have good field position.
That picture needs no words.
Terry Bradshaw on the sidelines. Second quarter. Hurt his left shoulder. Has just come out of the game holding his right arm. We'll be back. The clip stout has been alternating almost by series with Bradshaw. Meanwhile, the Oakland Raiders have the football 1st and 10. The ball inside their own 47-yard line. Handoff is Kenny King. Left side. And Kenny King over midfield. Gets down to about the 48-yard line for a gain of 5. Mel Blunt on the stop along with Dennis Winston. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Exactly. Mel Blunt's tackle gave him an extra 3 yards. So they had the big first down. As you look at Bradshaw, we learn that it is not just the shoulder, as Frank said, not just the arm, but the right thumb. A major problem now. We'll hope for a further report.
2nd and 5. Off Van Egan. Sprints to the outside and taken there by Donnie Shell, I believe just short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and short.
I guess the score would indicate this, but it just occurred to me as Oakland has punted one time, haven't they?
Great guy.
One time. And
a great punt.
That was Colquitt's second punt. So
well, it has not been one of your defensive
That's
battles.
right. They've been moving that thing up and down. Coach, what do you think?
76 points scored thus far in this ball game.
1 point short of the highest total ever scored on Monday Night Football.
Raiders on top, 42-34. 3rd down, less than a yard to go. King gets the call, and King is upended. It'll be close to a first down.
Good defensive play that time.
Not sure he got it, Frank. Not sure he got it.
Did you see Jack Ham come in for that linebacker position? Now that's when you can stop a guy. He may have gotten the first down. Still a terrific defensive play by Jack Ham.
I'm not sure he got it, Don.
Oh, I'm not either, but I just was looking at old Jack Ham out there.
Out come the yard markers.
May have gotten it by an inch, but it's going to be terribly close. Not sure he got it. No, he didn't.
We'll know in a moment.
He didn't.
I agree with you, Howard. He did not get it by 2 inches.
What do you do?
Terry's saying right now, what do I do? Because he's got to be.
What do? You kick the ball.
Yeah.
With a 42-34 lead.
They have to kick. They have to.
Well, they don't have to because nobody's moving out there right now unless they got the old quick kick.
They're not going to.
Yeah, that's the old quick kick.
In comes Todd Christensen. He is the extra tight end that they bring in.
All right.
Now he goes out, and the short yardage unit stays in for Oakland. The ball is inside the 44-yard line. 4th down, inches to go.
Plunkett calls timeout.
And Plunkett doesn't like it. He calls timeout. We'll move over to the sidelines. 7:02 remaining in this game as Jim Plunkett really feel the pain tonight. He has been battered and bruised all night long. Key play for the Oakland Raiders. And Van Egan bowls for the first down. And so Oakland maintains possession at the 42-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the seconds continue to tick.
Well, they got it, but I still think it was the wrong play. They're ahead 8 points. They now have less than 7 minutes left. Kick it. What if they had missed it? Then, okay. But don't play the game the way the fans want it. Play the game the way you know is right.
They did. They took a gamble there, didn't they?
They sure did.
Yeah.
Seconds ticking away. Inside 7 minutes remaining in the game. Wild offensive show from Pittsburgh. Van Egan gets the call, and Van Egan surges ahead for perhaps a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and I just want to also extend our sympathies tonight to Jim McKay, our colleague. Of course, so popular throughout the country, throughout the entire world, as a matter of fact. Jim McKay and his wife Margaret are in Philadelphia. Jim McKay's father passed away this morning, and again, Jim, we are with you. Or rather, Jim, I'm sorry, let me correct myself. It was Jim's mother who passed away in Philadelphia today. A great friend and a great pal, and you have our sympathies, Jim. 2nd down and 8. Arthur Whittington.
Whoa!
Whittington finds an opening and gets down to the inside the 35-yard line.
Have you noticed that we haven't been calling Joe Green's number tonight in the middle of that line? And Joe's the kind of guy that's been really the anchor for that defense.
Interesting point. A lot being written about that in this town.
Well, in talking to the coaches, they say Joe really has been playing well. That time in particular, they did go with his general area, but Mickey Marvin's the big guard that's been working on Joe.
Mickey Marvin is a 4th-year man out of Tennessee, and he is an animal. He is a great player.
They're down long, too, and the crowd once again roaring defense. Whittington again gets the call. Whittington down close to the 33-yard line.
Well, you would assume if they'd gone for it 10 yards up the field, they're going to go for it again right here.
I don't know. But I'll tell you this, Frank. We are now within the 5-minute mark, and they are fighting the clock.
And
Pittsburgh
it's ticking away.
And it's been a long time since the Pittsburgh Steelers lost 2 games in a row at home. Frank has told you that. And nothing is forever. But it's a long season, and when the Steelers get healthy, watch out.
4th down and a yard to go. Could be a long count. Trying to draw the Steelers offside.
There's your play action.
Plunkett had a man open for a moment, and he goes to Casper, and Casper has the first down. Or rather, Raymond Chester. So easy to say Casper now. In Houston, the Oakland Raiders, the proud possessors of Houston's, or at least a reported #1 draft pick and a pair of 2s. They sent Casper to Houston this past week.
We are down to the 4-minute mark, and we will be within that mark in seconds. We are now. 3:57, 3:56, counting time, and time of the essence.
Ball at the 31-yard line. Bob Chandler split out to the right. Time consumers, Kenny King 33, Van Egan 30. This is King.
He's got some good moves back there.
Inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. And again, a reminder about college football coming your way this Saturday. NCAA college football regional doubleheader beginning live at 12 Eastern, featuring Illinois at Michigan. The second half of that doubleheader will be Navy versus Washington, plus a lot of other regional action, including Dartmouth at Cornell, Missouri at Kansas State, Maryland at Duke, Jackson State at Grambling, Florida State at Memphis State. College football right here on ABC.
Let me tell you something, my friend. As one who has been there, you can't get a better game than Jackson State and Grambling.
2nd down and 5. Whittington stacked up inside the 25, short of the first down by a long 2. It'll be 3rd down and 2, and the clock continues to tick away. 2:42
In this great rivalry, as they begin their rivalry in the 80s, I said at the top of the telecast, maybe the best in pro football. I really believe it is. What a year of transition, as he puts it, for Al Davis. Oakland playing so challengingly, upsetting San Diego last week. And Chuck Noll fighting the injuries, fighting the turnovers. He'll be back.
On the 3rd and 2, Whittington bowls forward. He's close to another Oakland Raider first down. And we move close to the 2-minute warning. So they'll bring the yard markers in. That is the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back to see whether or not Oakland has achieved another first down. Whittington has picked up another Oakland Raider first down at the 21-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 minutes remaining in the game. The timeout situation, the Steelers have 3. The Raiders have 2.
Frank, I'd like to say this, if I may. I've been in this business 28 years. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't need one single excuse. They've had to go into this game without Franco, without Stallworth, without Swan. Bradshaw got racked up. Lambert's been out since the first quarter. Anybody thinks the Pittsburgh Steelers are through is an imbecile.
That's laying it on the line. Who brought that up?
I don't know.
Van Egan gets the call.
If they think they've at least made a mistake if they think that about Pittsburgh.
They'll be back with a great coach, with the greatest players in the game. Good Lord.
We've had a good football game tonight. It's been really fun. I think Oakland is kind of getting themselves on track a little bit. They played well last week against San Diego. They're a good football team, but good points. Pittsburgh is they're hurt.
That's a tribute, I really believe, to Al Davis, who is spending most of his time in a court of law, but that's not relevant. This team, they can play anybody.
Oakland using 12 plays to expire more than 7 minutes. Sends Arthur Whittington over the right side. More time will be used. And next Sunday, by the way, Seattle will move into Oakland. Oakland wins tonight, and they'll be tied with Seattle in a 4-3 record. 1 game behind the San Diego Chargers. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Steelers will be at Cleveland next Sunday.
And that'll be a great showdown. Rutigliano has his men very much in the chase.
And providing the Steelers lose tonight, they too will be tied with the Cleveland Browns when they go into Cleveland next week. Timeout again. The Steelers are down to 2 timeouts. We'll be back. Back at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1:11 showing on the clock, and the Raiders methodically grinding on the clock. They have used over 7 minutes in this drive. Terry Bradshaw on the sidelines. Damaged thumb was the last time they brought Terry out of the ball game. 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 17-yard line. Steelers have 2 timeouts. And Van Egan gets the call, runs right into Mel Blount. There'll be a loss of a yard on this play. And we will anticipate the field goal unit now of the Oakland Raiders. Reminds me that's Incredibles coming up next on the West Coast.
How'd you work that in?
You helped him.
I'd like to thank our statistician, research man, Jerry Klein, our spotter, Steve Fazica, as Chris Barr makes an attempt of 36 yards. The brothers Barr kicking tonight. Chris, of course, for Oakland. Matt Barr, of course, for the Steelers. And Chris drills it through, 36 yards. And the Oakland Raiders have 45 on the scoreboard. The Steelers have 34, 58 seconds remaining in this game. We'll be back in a moment. Off to Frank Pollard. Pollard down around the 2-yard line. Barr drills it along the ground. Is handled there by Dennis Winston, and Winston ambles out to the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 36. 52 seconds on the clock. The Pittsburgh Steelers will fall into a tie with the Cleveland Browns in the Central Division of the AFC. Both will have 4-3 records. After tonight, of course, Houston also has their 4-3.
You bet. Those 2 guys played some good football tonight.
And Oakland with the win. As we look at the standings, there's obviously Toll talked to you about a moment ago. And let's take a look at the Western Division. Oakland will play Seattle next week at Oakland. 1st and 10. Cliff Stout stays in the lineup. Fires over the middle. Is incomplete. Intended there for Rocky Blyer coming out of the backfield. 48 seconds remaining in the game. We'll see these Steelers down the line. We have them December the 4th down in Houston on a Thursday night game. We have them December the 22nd, and I'm looking forward to that one. In fact, we have a lot of great games coming up, starting this Sunday night in Dallas with the Cowboys and San Diego Chargers. But the final game of our season will be these Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chargers, December 22nd in San Diego.
We'll see Oakland again before this season is over, too, Frank. It'll be interesting to see how that team develops as the season goes along. Big Cliff Stout's getting him a chance to play.
This is Blyer, and Blyer has a first down out to the 48-yard line as the seconds tick away. Mike Davis, Ted Hendricks on the stop defensively for the Oakland Raiders. Stout, of course, having called the plays in the huddle, and stepping off sides was Willie Jones. The play will go. It's called a free play.
Oh.
And boy, Stout really was bopped by Cedric Hardman.
That's almost the
stands have emptied out. Disappointed Pittsburgh Steeler crowd. As I said before, that's since 1970 as these Steelers lost 2 in a row here at Three Rivers Stadium. Trying to get the ball to Frank Pollard. No flag down. Incomplete pass. 14 seconds now. Second down.
And in there, Frank, right at the end, Willie Jones, for the very reason that Oakland had drafted him, the pass rush. An impressive performance, regardless of the Pittsburgh injuries, by an Oakland team that is clearly, as Davis puts it, in transition.
Hey, in consecutive weeks, you knock off San Diego, knock off the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not in transition. You're there. And there it is. The Raiders win another one. 2 consecutive weeks they've knocked off prime contenders for the Super Bowl. Once again, the final score, Oakland 45, the Pittsburgh Steelers 34. Remember to stay tuned after your local news for ABC News Nightline over most of these ABC stations. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what friendly skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. The Raiders over the Steelers 45-34.